Namaste all. Good evening. In our series of Kalpataru knowledge sessions, today we have Srimati Nalini Daveji. She is an expert in the area of spiritual science. Today she is here to take us to the journey of past life regression therapy as a therapy. I heartily welcome Nalini ji. Namaste. Welcome.
Namaste, Gurudachi. Thank you so much. And a
I
lovely and warm welcome to all my friends on this.
I also extend my uh, namaste to all the participants who are here, who joined here. Today the session will be in English. So now over to Nalini ji. Namaste, please. You may start the session.
Namaste. Yes, thank you very much, Gurudat. And thank you everybody for taking out time to come and listen to me. Yes. So I would like to basically start the session with about 10-15 minutes meditation. I'll tell you the reason why we do it also. So just 10 minutes of meditation we will do, and this meditation is called as Anapanasati meditation. Anapanasati meditation, which was given to us by Lord Buddha. And it was this meditation which made him from Siddhartha to Gautam Buddha. So basically, this is a breath meditation where we focus only on the breath. The word Anapanasati, Ana means breath which comes in, Apana means breath which goes out, Sati means to become one with. So, Gurudachi, if you could, so in this meditation, we will clasp our hands like this. And if you are sitting on the chair, you will cross your feet at the ankle like this. Keep your body in Sukhasana as much straight as possible. We will remove our glasses and we will gently close our eyes. Okay. So we will work with soft music in the background. So let's all clasp our fingers, cross our legs, remove glasses, sit in Sukhasana, and gently mind becomes calm. Your breath automatically goes into its own rhythm. As you follow your breath and start going deeper and deeper, your thoughts start reducing. Per hand to prevent the 10% loss of energy. If your hands are open, 10% of your energy is lost. What you gain from nature. When you cross your feet, you save the remaining 10%. And when we close our eyes, we save 80% of the energy. So we create a circuit which will not allow the cosmic energy to get drained away. Slowly you keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. Experience the stillness. the silence. Slowly, as we keep meditating every day, a third eye opens. We are able to do astral travel. Intuition improves. And finally, we learn the greatest truth. I am God. Everybody is God. Aham Brahmasmi. I am Sat Chit Anand. I create my own destiny. Feel the silence within. Feel the stillness within you. Focus on your breath. No thoughts whatsoever. Experience the bliss, experience the joy. We will meditate for 2 more minutes. Just the silence, no thought. Slowly, friends. Come back into your physical body. Feel your body. Feel your hands. Feel your feet. Let your consciousness come back into your physical body. Unclasp your hands, put them on your eyes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Come back and gently open your eyes with a big, broad smile. Thank you, friends. I hope you'll enjoy the meditation. So I hope everybody is back after meditation. So we will start our main topic now, which is past life regression. Past life regression is a very amazing topic, and I think everybody feels a lot of interest in this topic. Gurudat, you'll have to tell me when the time is up because I don't have a watch here. Okay?
Sure, sure, no problem.
Yes, so just let me know when the time is up. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So past life regression is a very, very interesting topic, and everybody wants to know what we have been in our past lives. Everybody likes to know what changed in our past lives. Regression you can understand in two ways, which is past life. One we can call as present life regression, and one we can call as past life regression. Present life regression means, suppose you are 40 years old now. So you go back in time, year by year, till you were in mother's womb. So you can regress yourself till you were in mother's womb and find out many times you come across so many incidents which you feel you have forgotten, but they are all stored in a subconscious mind. We hold so many traumas and etc. which govern our present life. So present life regression is a very, very good tool to erase all your traumas, your inner children which have been formed because of all these traumas. Simple things like if teacher has shouted at you, so many times the little child is not able to understand and feels traumatic if this keeps happening again and again. So present life regression means going back in time to your present life, right till the womb. So many times it happens that the mother is pregnant and the situation in the surroundings are not very good. And many times it also happens that people want a boy. And suppose that the fetus is a girl. Now the fetus understands everything through the umbilical cord, what the mother feels. And so if it's a girl, and if people around are always wanting boys, so from that point only, the girl child starts feeling rejection. And when she grows up, also, she keeps having that feeling of rejection, which she does not understand why she is feeling that. So here, present life regression helps in that. There was a very interesting case which I had heard of, that there was a young man. It was in abroad in some country, and there was a young man, and he was about 30, 35 years old, absolutely fine. He had gone to a hospital to meet somebody, and suddenly after that something triggered in him, and he started feeling that he is not going to make it and he is going to die. Suddenly he was just terrorized by that fear that he's going to die. Now what happened was that he tried a lot of things. He got all his tests done, medical checkup done, everything was fine, but still he kept on feeling that he's not going to make it, he's going to die. And finally he went to a therapist, who did his present life regression. And when he went back in time to the time when he was born, he was a premature baby, and there were two nurses who were keeping him in an incubator. And these nurses were talking amongst themselves. I don't think this child is going to make it. So somewhere this went straight into the unconscious mind of the child, and it remained there in a dormant state. So he was absolutely fine till then. And then when he went to meet his friend, at that time he had passed that hospital which had those incubators. And the very sight of that incubators triggered this into him. And when he went to the therapist, and when he could literally see that scene, he could literally hear the sounds of the nurses talking. And when that trauma was healed, he could come out of his problem very, very easily. So it's a beautiful thing about how the mind works. In the same way, we may have many phobias, we may have many fears. There are lots of us who have fear of height. Some of us have fear of water. Like so many times it may happen that a person is so very scared of water that he will never go near the swimming pool also. Leave aside stepping into the swimming pool, but he will not go near the swimming pool also. Even if he knows that okay, the depth is only so much, you can tie a float, how much people will try to convince him, but the fear is so strong that he will not be able to do it. So now, and there is nothing in this present life which has caused this. So now what to do? Nobody understands where this fear is stemming from. So if there is no cause in your present life which is causing this, then a past life regression can help in this. So if you go to your past life, there are different processes by which you can go into the past life. And if you go into the past life and if you see that life, so many times what happens is that a person may have died because of drowning in water, and that child is born with this trauma. So that, and the that is in his subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind ka work is to keep you alive. So as soon, and the subconscious mind, there is no concept of time. So as the person tries to go near the swimming pool, the subconscious mind will keep telling him, don't go there, huh? You will die. Don't go there or you will die. Okay. So in this way, this keeps happening, and this phobia starts of water. So same way it can happen when somebody is feeling of height. Somebody has died because of falling from the height. So all these traumas are very much in the subconscious mind, and they don't allow you to either go to the height or go into the swimming pool. So again, here past life regression helps you that if you go into that life, you see that life, you reframe that life, or you heal that life in many different ways. And then it will have an impact on your present life. So it is not that past life regression you will see only because of you are inquisitive. Mainly it is seen for therapeutic purpose. Many times relationship issues. So many times the husband is so very fine with all his friends, and nobody, and people will feel there's nobody better than you. The wife is also very fine, and her friends also feel that she is the best. But two together, when they come, they just can't make it. Now, what is the reason for this? We all know that all our relationships are based on karmic situations. So if there is no cause which is causing this in the present life, if, and there may be many past lives related to this. So if they see a few of the past lives in how, in which how each one had troubled the other, and they reframe and heal that, then the relationships can heal. So in this way, past life regression and present life regression help in a lot of different ways. So, so this is about past life regression and present life regression. There was one case here also which I would like to discuss, which I myself had done. A lady came to me, and she was not able to conceive or not able to have children. And so I took her, and her medical treatment things were going on. So I took her into her past life. And in her past life, she saw a kind of a stampede that all the people were just running and running and running. It was in some village, a very Indian village which had very rural. And this lady fell down. And she fell down. And then later on, she told me that when she fell down, a small child got crushed under her weight because over her, many people went on stampeding, and this little child died. Now the people were so it was a rural place, so they started blaming this woman, and she was made an outcast and not allowed in the village, and she kept on feeling guilty for something which she was not responsible for. And when she died a very miserable death, and the last thought in her mind was, when she died, when the soul left the body, was that I'm not fit to be the mother. So the last thought which we use when the soul leaves the body, the last thought that we have plays a very great impact. So when she came to me and we saw this life and we healed this life, after 1 year, I came to know that she has conceived twins. Of course, I'm not saying entirely due to past life regression. Her medical treatments were also going on. So everything together helped her to conceive, and she could come out of this trauma very easily. So as I told you that there are many things which happen. Somebody had skin problem, and when it was traced back to past life, it was seen that it was Nazis time, and when the Jews were troubled, she was in that center and she had got burned, and she had carried that trauma with her, which was causing her a lot of problems, a lot of issues in her skin. So this is about the past life regression and the present life regressions. Many cases can be healed with the help of past life. If now again in past life, as I say, that it's not necessary that everybody will be able to see their past life. If you are able to go in the deep hypnotic state and you are able to see that past life, then the effects are brilliant. Apart from past life and present life, we also have something called as future life progression. So now in this future life progression, you can in your mind see what is going to happen in the future. See, in the sense, like if you have two things, like if you whether you should do business or you should take up a job. Now you are in a dilemma and you're not able to understand, then you can take a use of this technique. So the therapist can guide you. Okay, now you are at this point of time and you have a choice either to take up a job or to take up a business. So first option, you take up a job. Okay. See 6 months down the line what you are doing. 1 year down the line what you are doing. 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. Now come back to this state. Now take the second option. You are doing business. 1 year down the line, 2 years down the line, 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, how you are doing. So once you are able to see that, it is very easy for you to make decisions. But one thing I would say in this case is that what future we see depends on what is your energy level or what your consciousness level at this particular time. So you cannot say for sure that this is exactly what is going to happen, but it gives you a rough idea, because you may do a lot of sadhana, you may do a lot of practices, lot of meditation, and you may increase your consciousness level, change your consciousness level. So as I told you, that if you change your consciousness level, you can change your future. We are all creators of our own destiny, and we have all the choices that we can to change our future. So this was about future life progression. Now let us understand the concept of a mind a little bit. So according to the seers, we always feel no mind is within us. According to the seers, in which some experiments were done, mind is a ball of energy surrounding us completely, about 10 to 12 feet in diameter, and the center of the mind is the gut, a stomach. So that is why the word gut feeling. Now, what is the work of the gut? The work of the gut is only to digest food. Then why do we feel? Now, suppose you have to go for an examination, you feel butter, or you want to go for an interview. Where will you feel? You will feel the butterflies in your stomach. Why in your stomach? Because this is the center of your mind. So we can say mind is a ball of energy which is surrounding us completely, and it is about 8 to 10 feet in diameter. The mind can be divided into conscious mind and the subconscious mind. So subconscious will also include the unconscious mind. So it is only 10 to 12% which is conscious mind, and around 88% is the subconscious mind. And between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, there is something called as a filter mind. Okay. So the filter mind starts developing between the age of 2 to 8 years. And the development of the filter mind depends on your sanskaras with which you have come. It also depends on your circumstances. And it is the filter mind which will put everything from the conscious to subconscious mind in the form of folders, like good or bad, whether you like it or dislike it, or it is not important. So everything is stored in the form of folders of likes and dislikes. And this filter mind develops between the age of 2 to 8 years. So now let us say an example of how the filter mind develops. But before we do that, let us understand what is the work of conscious mind and what is the work of subconscious mind. So everything that we do, like what I'm talking, you all are listening, you all are trying to analyze, okay, is this the same of what we had heard? Is she talking well? Is she talking nonsense? You analyze everything, you feel everything. So everything is done with the conscious mind, which is only 12% or 18%. The remaining big subconscious mind is there. So if everything we are doing with the conscious mind, what is the need for subconscious mind? Is it that God has made a mistake giving us such a big subconscious mind? No. So what exactly is the work of subconscious mind? The subconscious mind stores everything right from the time. So in subconscious mind, we can divide it into modern memory and primitive mind. So in the modern memory, you will have everything about your present life right from the time of you were in the womb till your present day. So everything which is significant will be stored. It's not a small incident which will be stored. It will be stored in the subconscious mind. And another important aspect of the subconscious mind is to keep you alive. So as I told you, and subconscious mind has no concept of time. So if that phobia is there in your subconscious mind because of sanskaras, which is in the unconscious mind, in which all your past life memories are there. So modern memory will have your present life, and the primitive mind of the subconscious mind will have all your past life memories. So this will trigger and will not allow you to go into the swimming pool or on heights. So these are all stored in your unconscious mind. And there is a filter mind in between. And that is why we do not have direct access to all our past lives, or so many incidents of childhood we have forgotten. So either through hypnosis or through deep meditation, you can transcend from the conscious mind to the subconscious mind. So hypnosis is a state in which your control goes from the conscious to the subconscious mind, but the conscious mind is awake. So when the therapist takes you through this, you cross the barrier of the filter mind, come into the subconscious mind, you can see this life and view it, heal it, and then it will, because the conscious mind is awake, it is also aware, and so all your problems will be taken care of. So here I really wanted to tell you about what is the function of the filter mind, or how the filter mind is formed. So now let's take an example. Uh, so most of us, like if I ask you whether stealing is good or bad, so what will most of us say? That stealing is bad, right? Why? We say that because we've always been taught that right from childhood, that stealing is bad in morals, parents, everybody teaches us. But now let's take an example of one small child who is a child of two thieves, pickpocketers, you can say. Now they are pickpocketers and they are going and just picking small things from people. And with the money that they bring, they are giving their child toys, they are giving the child a chocolate. And what they're telling the child? Okay, if without anybody noticing you bring this thing from there, no, I'll give you a chocolate. So now the child's filter mind is formed in such a way that stealing is good. Because what happens through stealing, he is getting chocolates, he is getting toys, everything he is getting. So, how is his filter mind developed? Cheating or stealing is good. So, stealing goes in the folder of good for him. Okay. And now he grows up, he goes to school. Now, in moral science in schools, they start teaching them that stealing is bad. Now, the conscious mind has got rules and subconscious mind has got experience. So, the rules in the conscious mind tell him that stealing is bad. The experience in the subconscious mind tells him that stealing is very good. So, now there is a conflict between the child. So now it all depends on the will of the child. If his willpower is strong, because subconscious mind is very strong, experience is much, much stronger than the logic or the rules. So it is very difficult for those people to stop stealing unless they have a strong will and they can overcome the subconscious mind and the rules can rule them. Similarly, smoking. When you are very young and you start smoking, it may be out of just peer pressure or pleasure or something, and then slowly it becomes a habit. So your experiences of smoking are good. Now you grow big, you start having health problems. Doctors tell you have to quit smoking, otherwise you'll have lots of liver cirrhosis. Now the rules are telling him not to smoke, and his experiences of smoking have been good. So here, doing either the present life regression or going into the subconscious mind and erasing those memories of good things will help. Otherwise, however hard he tries to quit smoking, he will find it very, very difficult unless he goes to his subconscious minds and clears it, or goes to the regression, goes to that stage and tries to remove those memories from him. So, this way, regression therapy, past life regression, present life regression, everything helps in a lot of ways. Now let's come to another very beautiful concept, which is life between lives. Okay. Now life between life. Uh, so first for that, we will have to understand that this is not the only life we have taken, right? Even for past lives, the theory is that only that we have taken many lives before, and the life that we are getting now is based on our karmas, and our karmas are based on what choices we make. So let's understand this a little bit. Now, suppose when I have conscious mind, I have subconscious mind, I have a soul, and I have a physical body. Now, when I die, my physical body and my conscious mind are gone. But my subconscious mind, with all the impressions in it, because everything is stored in the subconscious mind, and the soul transcends to another realm. Okay, there we have a higher self, and the first thing that is done is that we, with the help of our guides, our masters, there's no punishment as such. Nobody scolds us or nothing like that. We only review our life. We review our lives like right from the beginning, And we only realize as souls and mind complex, soul and mind complex, that I wish I had done this with more of love. The only language that is understood there is love. Being poor is okay. Everything is a choice. Only thing is love. How best I could have done this with love. That is the way we review our lives. And we then understand, okay, what are the lessons we have completed and what are the lessons which we are left to be completed, which we still have to complete. So then we may decide to take rest for some time. We don't want to take birth immediately. So we may go to other planets to learn. Like if we need to learn about love, we may go to Venus. We may go to different planets, we may learn. And we may take our own time. But most important thing is that we have to come back on the earth. The earth is like our examination center. We have to come and give exam on this earth. So now we say, okay, now suppose my lesson to be learnt is poverty. Maybe I've ridiculed people who are poor and I need to experience what is poverty. Again, I told you in that pure consciousness, poverty is not bad. It is fine. It is just an experience. So now I decide, okay, now I want to learn, apart from many other lessons, one of the lessons I need to learn is poverty. So now I say, chalo, I need to go and give my exam, so I need to go to the earth. So now I start my preparation for the journey. So जैसे यहाँ से if you want to go from Bangalore to Chennai, we make so many of preparations. We take our dabba, we take our clothes, we take our bag and everything. So this is a long journey that we are coming to. So we have to make our preparations. So now we start deciding on our parents. We start choosing our parents. Now, so if I want an experience of poverty, obviously what kind of parents I will choose? I will choose parents who are poor. Okay. So I search and search as a spirit baby and I look and I select my parents. Okay. And then I plan big experiences of my life. I plan. See, the thing is that I have to learn about poverty and come out of it without creating more karmas. That is my lesson. Okay. So now finally I've decided everything. Most important things of my life. I will have poor parents. I will experience poverty. I will still not cry, will not create more karmas and come out of it with love and affection. So this is my lesson. Now comes the trickiest part. Before coming to the earth, the chip is taken away. So I don't remember now that this is my learning lesson. So without this chip, I come and take birth on this planet Earth in a poor family. Because this is my planning. And I have done this planning with the help of my guides and masters. Literally in the upper dimensions, there is like a round table conference where there are your masters, your guides who are helping you with it. Of course, the choice is finally the soul's choice, what it wants to do. Nobody will force you. If you don't want to take birth now, it is fine. The time you are ready, you take birth, the guides just help you. Okay, these are the learning lessons and this is what you have to do. Because there's nothing right, there's nothing wrong. Everything is only experience. So now I come on this earth and what happens? I have forgotten that this is my learning lesson. So now I grow up and I start fighting, telling God, why is it I'm so poor? I don't have this, I don't have that. I create fights, I do a lot of wrong things, and I create a lot of karma. And in this way, the life goes on and on till you come across maybe certain person who will help you to understand. It all depends on what level of consciousness we have come. That also I will discuss. But in the result, what happens is that you, instead of decreasing your karma, you create more karmas. Of course, in some other fields, maybe we will reduce your karmas, but more and more your karmas you take. And when it is time for you to go, your batting is over. You have to go back. You go back and again realize, oh God, what have I done? Now I need one more chance. So in this way, we are bound in the cycle of birth and death. And so here, meditation, listening to such talks, reading good books help you a lot because it helps you to understand. Because if you are ready, you will even see your past lives in meditation. That's why I made you all meditate. You will even see your past life in meditation and you will get guided. But of course, for that, you have to be at a certain level of consciousness. So in this way, time will come when we'll be able to overcome all these things and we will become Buddha, and then we will not have to come back. There is moksha nirvana, which is also an illusion. Because again, you will go to some other galaxy, other planet, and again you will learn. But at least your cycle on earth may come to a halt. So as I was talking about levels of consciousness, there are different levels of souls. So first, let us understand that when we come to earth, we first come as minerals. We take many lives in mineral life. We come as different minerals. Now we are under the earth. Then there is an urge in us to come out. So after few births, we take life as plants. And here we take birth in many, many different plants. And that is why so many of us like some vegetables, we don't like some vegetables. Depends on what lives you have taken in which plants. And then we come to animal life. So now when we are in animals, we take again birth as many different animals. But one thing, as minerals, as plants, as animals, we don't have individual consciousness. We only have group consciousness. And so we are not really affected by karma. Because see, it is the lion's dharma to take karma. And then slowly, slowly, from animals, we come as humans. Now, when we come as humans, there are different levels of consciousness. And we have all gone through these different levels of consciousness. So the first level of consciousness is infant level. So the souls which have just come from the animal life into the human life. Now they will have many of animal tendencies. So most of you will see these criminals or whoever are there, they are all they are then their initial stages, they are in the infant stage, infant soul level. And so they know nothing else except roti kapda makan because they still have that so many of their animal traits in them. So actually we cannot blame them because then after taking many lives as an infant soul, they will graduate to baby soul. So in infant souls, they've hurt many people. So in baby souls, they will try to be soldiers or help in different ways. So here also, at baby soul level, at infant soul level, they are generally working on your root chakra like roti kapda makan type. When you come to baby soul, you start working more from your swadhisthana chakra. So there are pain and pleasures, and there are many other things apart from roti kapda makan. And you do some good deeds, like in infant soul, you have harmed so many people, so you try to work for the country and do a lot of things. After taking many lives in baby soul, you come to young soul level where you work from Manipur chakra. So here you have a lot of power. So you are in the higher post. So if you are soldiers, you will become captains or very many other different where you have a lot of control. So there's a lot of control game which is happening when you are at Manipur chakra. So again, after taking many lives at Manipur chakra, you come to the heart chakra. So here you are a mature soul. So now when you are at a mature soul level, so I think most of us who are in this field, who like to listen to such things, or even spend their time coming to listening to this, try to find out who am I? What is my purpose of life? Want to start meditating, starts remaining aloof, always wants to find out, okay, I'm not here, come here only for making money. There's some other purpose for which I have to come. Who am I? Why have I come here? Who is God? When you start thinking of all these things, you are at your heart chakra, and you are at a mature soul level. So this is a big, big, big transition in the human life when we are at mature soul level and we start working out of heart chakra. Then you go to old soul level. So you are at your throat chakra. So most of the best musicians, painters, dancers, everybody like that, they are working at the throat chakra level. They are old souls. So they have gained a lot of wisdom after spending many lives in the mature soul level. So now they are at the old soul level. And slowly, slowly, and all these people are very much connected to the higher consciousness. If you see the musician who makes the best of music, if you see the poets who make the best of poets, you see all the healers, etc., are either at the mature soul level or at the old soul level. So here you learn into healing, you do a lot of such modalities, you're interested in all these things. So you are at old soul level. After taking many lives at old soul level, you go to transcendental soul level. So transcendental soul level may you are at such a stage that your mere presence affects millions of people. So like Mahatma Gandhi kind, like his talk affected so many people. People who are at a very high spiritual level, all of them come under transcendental soul level. And the last is the infinite soul level. So at infinite soul level is like Krishna or Ramakrishna Paramhans or whomever you call, they are all at infinite soul level. So once you reach the infinite soul level, you don't necessarily have to come back to earth with your karmas. At all other levels, we have to come back to earth to complete our karmas. But once you reach infinite soul level, you don't need to come back to earth. You may choose to come back to earth and serve people. But at that time, you will not be bound by karmas because you are only coming to help humanity. You are only coming to help mankind. So it is at transcendental level and infinite soul level when we take birth. Now here is the time when it is your turn to preach to people, to help people. It's not only your journey, it is your job to help people evolve. And otherwise, you can remain at infinite soul level and guide people from there. Or, as I told you may then go to different galaxies and go to different dimensions. So just as we have this dimension, there are many dimensions. So this was the journey of the soul. I told you about present life regression. I told you about past life regression. I told you about future life progression, theory of mind, fears, phobias, and I also explained to you a little bit about life between life. So there is one more thing that I would just like to add a little bit is that the different dimensions. So as of now, we all know that the earth is in third dimension and there is a transition which is going on for the earth to go from the third dimension to the fifth dimension. So it is when there are different dimensions, it's only the frequency which will keep changing. So as we go to higher and higher and higher frequencies, as the earth prepares itself to go to the fifth dimension, we also need to change our vibrations. So as and our body just now is carbon-based body. So slowly, slowly, as you go to higher dimensions, our bodies will also be coming to light bodies. And it is only because of this that there are so many different healing modalities which have come up and which are helping people to transcend. So many people nowadays, there are many people who speak light language. So when they speak the light language, those words we will not be able to understand, but it straight away goes into the subconscious mind and helps people release. Because nowadays a lot of work is being going on in releasing the traumas and making us whole and complete. Only once we are whole and complete, we will be able to transcend and go to higher dimensions. So yes, I think I've covered most of what I intended to. If you want to ask me anything. we can.
Thank you, Daliji. It was really, really very informative and very interesting subject. I am so blessed, in fact, to be in this session and also to arrange this session for this more than 35 people who are here.
I'm so blessed myself to be able to to spread this with you all, to share this with you all. Yeah, and this subject is a very passionate one for me too. I love this.
Right, right. So, in any questions, any feedbacks, if anybody has, you may please speak. Meantime, I'll be stopping the recording. So,
Yes,
thank you
thank you,
all for
Gurudev.
joining.